March 31st, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. From last Friday, there was a gap down, sold off in the pre-market, a little bit choppy sideways, sold off, kind of recovered a little bit, but then on the open, it flushed down. Then there was kind of a slow, gradual grind up, and then sideways price action into the close. So this is how I drew up the charts today. I tried to find, I first was working with this channel going up, then later it evolved into this more bigger purple channel. There weren't too many setups I could take off of it though, so it didn't really quite help except to let you know where the directional bias of the overall market was. I took two trades. They're located here. This one and this one, they're both profitable. Other than that, there weren't too many setups that I could find. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. So pre-market, things are just chopping sideways. Breaks out of this trading range, attempt to move back in and flushes down. EMA is starting to show some bearish directional bias. There's a new low here. It's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. It's also a break of this green leg, pushes to a new high. Here it creates kind of a triple test and a lower high from this localized new low. First entry short, second entry short, lower high, but this is the pre-market, so I'm not there to trade the pre-market. But the setup, after I kind of looked at it, I thought there might have been a trade here if this had happened in regular trading hours. Prices break out, opens here, and then kind of starts moving down on this down channel, pushes up on this green up channel. There's a new high, localized new high. I found this trend line coming down. Go ahead and see what it looks like. Found this three touch confirmation, actually four. Small breakout here. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. Second entry long looks like it's about to fail. It's also a new low. A first entry short right here, second entry short, but it also looks like it pushed down. So I count this as a new localized new low. But you can see it's a visual first entry, second entry. So depending on what the next candle is, if it breaks below this, then it might be a second entry short, failed second entry long. Break of the green up channel had already tested once, twice, and then pushed down. Now, I was a little concerned about this pre-market low to try to take a trade. It did have a failed breakout here. I just wasn't too sure that this might actually hit here and have a bounce. So I considered maybe a possible trade, but definitely a little more aggressive for my taste. Prices move down, starts pushing down, kind of confirms the low side of this yellow down channel. So I'm liking this channel so far. Looking for a setup. It's a new low. You have a first entry short. And then you kind of have a second entry short here. It looks like it's two legs up. First entry short, pullback, second entry short. This second entry short looks like it's pretty bullish for a potential failure, but it's right at the EMA. And I saw a potential bounce off this low side, so I was thinking one attempt, two attempts. I did have, let's see, measure move here to here. So I did make the measure move, so I was a little bit unsure if there was be enough push to go back up. So I did mark it. Something I saw, I wasn't quite able to tell what to do. Looked like it would have worked. Pushes up on this, kind of this pinkish red channel. No trade setup. This big purple one doesn't exist yet. It's a first entry long. Pull up and then just kind of count resets. Break of this pink up channel has tested the high, pulls back. This blue line is kind of where I thought there was some kind of resistance here because it looked like it tried once, twice, three times. Now it's a fourth time. So I'm thinking at this point, we might be in a trading range with this being the top of the range. It's a first entry long, pull back, and you really don't get a second entry long. It just kind of keeps going. EMA is starting to show support and show strength, pushes to the high here. I did draw this purple up channel, but in the meantime, I had a few other channels going on, so I didn't really fully trust this purple one at the time to be reliable, but it did have three touches here. So I'm just watching. So first entry long pullback, second entry long. Second entry long has now failed right here. I like this break of this orangey pink up channel. One attempt, two attempt, tested the high, hitting the top of this potentially developing trading range. So I saw this as a failed breakout. Looks like it's one attempt, two attempt, and then now might be coming back down to test the low side. This is a good signal bar for the failed second entry long. decent close at the bottom below the EMA. I also had a belief that, excuse me, that this green down channel could be starting to be in play. So it'd be a resistance here, one touch, two touch, three touch. So I thought there's a potential trade right here, at least enough for a quick 1 point scalp. Looked like it worked. Prices continue moving down. This is the slow side. I'm watching this really carefully because it's now moving sideways in the trading range. Break of this green down channel has technically tested and made a new low, but it's very sideways, so it's a little bit hard for me to tell which way it's going to go. I don't fully trust this purple support side yet. The top side fits a little bit better, but it could be this big channel. So I'm just kind of watching and waiting, looking for a good setup. Pushes up and through the EMA, but there's no setup for me to take. Pushes up. There was no second entry short here, unfortunately. There is a lower high here, but it feels like it's just kind of a lower high break of this orange. Made one attempt up. Here I'm looking for a potential push up. So I'm looking first entry long, potential second entry long. Second entry long, but it was in a good signal bar, so I had to leave it alone. Now it's coming back, creates a higher low. So it's a first entry, pullback, second entry, pullback, higher low. I thought this is a possible trade. Break of this orange up channel, made one attempt up, pullback, second attempt up, and now it's bouncing off the EMA. I thought even though it could be like a third attempt up, this also looks like it's just one leg down. One leg down, first attempt, second attempt. So more like a visual first entry, second entry. It has a higher low. Thought it was a possible trade. The signal bar is pretty good for to go long on. Would have worked. Pushes up. Hits this consolidation area. Looks like it's just kind of going sideways right now. I'm thinking this is the trading range. It's a new low. It's a first entry short, pull back, second entry short, break of this green up channel, broke on the high side, one attempt, pull back, pushes down here. So it's kind of between whether you should be going range rules or channel rules. And I saw, okay, there's definitely one touch, two touch, three touch, a triple test. I saw this as a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. Ideally, I wanted this candle to come down and touch this, but it did create a triple test, so I thought that was good enough. On a clearly bullish kind of section where it went pushed up, pull back, push up, two legs down, maybe it's going to push back up again. And I like that this moved a couple ticks down, closed above this second entry long signal bar, which isn't the best, but it closed high, looks very strong. So I actually want to enter this trade. So I wanted to see a follow through. When this one closed at the very end and it closed red but bullish, I said, okay, I want to actually enter above this original signal bar to reduce my risk. I tried to enter here, but I ended up entering kind of right at the highs of this guy. I was able to get the quick 1 point scalp because I'm thinking prices are pushing back up. No runner. Prices then continue chopping sideways, pushes to the high side. The fail breakout here, no clean setup. EMA is kind of showing a bullish bias. Pushes down, first entry long pullback. You have a second entry long here, but it's a bad signal bar. Didn't really quite like it. Looks like it's a measured leg, one leg down, two attempts up, pushes, and it creates a second measured leg here. So I'm thinking, is there a first entry long pullback, second entry long? There's a potential count reset, or you can see as a visual one leg, two small legs up, pullback. Depending on how much I trusted this support, is there going to be another pushback up? I wasn't sure. Pushes down. Here, I feel like I'm too late to try to enter this trade. I'm a little weary of the EMA coming into play now. This is a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, localized new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. I really wanted this to be a better signal bar. Unfortunately, it ended a little more neutral than I'd like, so I left it alone. Prices then continue moving up on this pink up channel, hits this, which is the gap fill now. So this is the break from last Friday. Gap down, started moving sideways. It filled the gap now, so I'm thinking this could act at least as a temporary resistance. There's a new low. It's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short, second entry short, and it's hard to see, but there's actually this candle went one tick above this guy, then flushed down really strongly. So it's a first entry short, second entry short, lower high. I actually thought this was actually a decent trade, but I didn't want to take it. It's a decent trade because, excuse me, It's confirming the second entry short. It moved one tick above, flushed and closed really strongly here. There's enough room to get to the EMA. Decent signal bar close. Would have worked. Flushes down. Goes back up. Now it's breaking above this gap fill line again. It's a first entry short, second entry short. Pushes up, makes new highs again. Just kind of pushes back up. So far, the EMA, even though there's been some violations, is clearly going bullish, and prices are kind of respecting it, or at least following the bullish uptrend. The first entry long, second entry long, it's a bad signal bar below the EMA. I'm not too keen on this. Too much stem here. Pushes down now, breaks out of this purple up channel. This dotted purple channel doesn't exist yet, so I can't use that as a key entry point. Break of this green down channel, test the low. The first entry short pullback, it creates a second entry short failure. This is actually where I took my second trade. Go ahead and zoom in. There's a break of this green down channel, break here, test the low. Made two more attempts to try to press down, but it failed. This is a pretty strong rejection of it going lower. I saw that there was enough room to the EMA on a clearly bullish uptrend. I'm thinking prices want to move back into this purple uptrend. It's like a failed breakout, and it might want to start making its way in. So it's a little bit of more of an aggressive trade, but I entered right here, one tick, actually at the same highs as this guy, flushes up. I want to make sure I got out before I had to run into potential resistance by the EMA. I was able to get the quick 1 point scalp, pushes up. I didn't trade a runner though, and I think if I did trade a runner, it's debatable whether I would have gotten a runner because I think for sure this candle came down and kind of tested and made the low right where I entered. So my runner stop would have been one tick above, and I likely would have just gotten a no help runner. So it's a good thing I just took the entire position off. Prices then move up on this yellow up channel, breaks to the high side. First entry long, second entry long here. It's not a really good signal bar, left it alone. Dropping sideways. I'm thinking I'm in a range now. Localized new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long again. I don't really like these signal bar. Pushes back down, flushes back up. Break of this green up channel. So it's a new low. It's a first entry short pullback, second entry short. The second entry short now was debating at the time. It's at the high, and I thought it was an aggressive setup because it's a break of this green up channel. Test the high, which is great. It pushed into this purple up channel, but the push back into the purple up channel wasn't super decisive. Now, I could have this purple up channel incorrect. So it's a break, pushed up, kind of dwelled, fell, failed, pushed back up, made a new high. So there's a second entry short here. I like this signal bar close at the low, but I felt it was too aggressive for me. So I was looking for a lower high, ideally below the EMA, to trust the prices were going to continue back down. But I thought this was a possible trade, definitely a little bit more aggressive than I'd like, and I felt like it was picking a top. Unfortunately, you don't get that lower high, just kind of pushes to the bottom. Bounces, first entry short, pull back. You have a second entry short here. It's confirmed, but you don't know that at the time. It confirms here, but then it fails. So, but then I'm not really going to try to take a long trade off a failed second entry short because this isn't a good follow through candle. Pushes up. And I just want to note that if I did try to enter, depending on if I had it one tick above, I'd never get filled, and then this one to show up. Or if I had the same high as this guy, I might have gotten filled here and probably would have gotten stopped out on the same red candle. So it's a good thing I just didn't like this signal bar for going second entry short or even going long because this isn't a very clean failure. Prices move down. First entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but it's starting to feel like it's range rules. So it's a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. This made a double top, but this isn't a very convincing signal bar. If it closed the high, then it'd be something else. But unfortunately, I didn't really like it. It did have a really good follow through right here. Prices continue moving up, which is way high. So it's like a new, technically new low, first entry short pullback. You have a second entry short here, but I kind of reset the count here. It looked like more of a first entry short pullback, second entry short. Creates, it's not technically a second entry short by the count, but it looks like it's like a first entry short. I grouped this as all part of one big move. It's like a second entry short. This reminded me of this trade. Break of this green up channel, tested the high, Similar to this one, it moved one tick above this guy, flushed down and closed really strongly, just like this guy. Except this one's engulfing. So again, I felt like it's a possible trade, but it is not quite a second entry short. Even if I start to count here, it's more like a first entry, second entry, third entry. Good signal bar. I had a hunch about it, but I just couldn't justify it. And it's really technically not a second entry short. And you can't really say it's a lower high either because it's higher than everything else. But I felt like prices were going to come back down. I knew it would be picking the highs, and I'm not super comfortable just necessarily picking the highs because I don't trust that I have the context correct. It ends up working though, so I'm going to put in my notes and just kind of be aware of it. Bounces off the EMA again, pushes up. Also, this is counter trend, so another thing to kind of go against, trying to go against the trend at that point. Of course, it did work. The first entry short, second entry short, hits this consolidation, just kind of sitting back, watching, pushes to the new high, slowly grinds up this yellow up channel. Only really first entries. It's very congested. You do have a second entry here, but it's very tight trading. I just didn't like these side-by-side candles. You have a higher low here, so it's actually new high, first entry right here, second entry, and then higher low. Not too keen on it, but I did see this as a new localized low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. So I'm getting a little bit of deja vu because I noticed this setup is a break of this orange up channel, test the high. This guy, break of the green up channel, test the high. This guy, break of the green channel, test the high. Made a low at the time, new high, then it flushed down. At the time, made a new high and flushed down. I had my suspicions like, hey, there's a resistance here. Unfortunately, unlike the other two, this didn't make a new high. It's close though. Broke and made, tested here. It technically made lower, a low that's lower than this guy, but it didn't close as nicely and as strongly as the last two setups. So with that in mind, I decided, okay, there could be a trade here because, maybe third time's a charm, but I also felt like if I try to enter this, this is probably going to be the time that it doesn't work because the two other times that repeated each other, they all made new high of days, broke of a clean channel, test the high, and had very good signal bars. This one, signal bar is okay, not as nice. It ends up working though, and I kind of felt, okay, well, missed this opportunity again, but I'm a little okay because this one was felt a little bit less safe than the previous two. Prices move down, breaks out of this range, hits this very shallow up channel. Technically, you have a new low. You don't get a first entry short deal here. Second entry short way up here. It just doesn't look quite right. I couldn't get. It felt like it was a spike in a channel, but even this channel after the spike didn't quite fit well. It initially started here, then later dragged up to here. It's just I didn't really like anything here. And then I saw a new high here. It's the first entry long pullback. Second entry long. Unfortunately, it's not the right colored candle. It needs to be green. And then no lower high here. Then it creates a new high of day again. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. Seeing this in real time, this was late in the day, but I had a strong hunch that this would work, but still didn't quite want to just jump in on the trade, especially considering I already had 2 wins for the day. I didn't want to risk that profit, but it was, I think, something worth taking. This candle is huge though, because this is a 7.25, so a 29 tick candle. But watching this open here, tick above, engulf this big guy, flush around, and then finally close at the low, I was thinking there is a possible trade here, just contextual. Break, one attempt, two attempt, pushing back down. I had this purple up channel. I couldn't really treat this as a key entry point because this is after the market closed. I ended up dragging it up. I had something closer to this, and it looked like there was a fail breakout here, moving back into this purple. So it didn't really quite touch. It did have a rejection off the EMA. There was enough reasons I thought to go short. The only thing standing in my way was it's a little late in the day, already got 2 profitable trades, didn't want to risk giving it back, and this is a huge risk candle. And if I did enter, I think I would have tried to enter at the lows. Looks like I would have gotten filled, but I had to have been quick, flush down, and this would have given you the quick 1 point scalp. Kind of prices oscillate, chops around, pushes out to the new high. It's a new low. It's a first entry short, second entry short, second entry short failure. But yeah, I had this drawn as a trend line initially, so it was more something like this. A trend line later turned it into a channel. There's a key entry point. Signal bar is decent. It's also late in the day, so I'm just not too hot on the idea, which is the new high. Excuse me. New high, it's a first entry long pullback, second entry long right here. First entry long, second entry long. Should have marked it. Failed. Second entry long, as well as the new low, first entry short, second entry short. Break of this green up channel. Made one attempt up, second attempt up, double top, flush down. Really good signal bar. Probably worth a trade. Just too late in the day though. And the prices just kind of move into the close. And then this is actually in the last 2 minutes. All these candles, like 2,000 trades made right here. And each trade could have definitely more than one contract. So this is just really crazy, end of day swippy action. So kind of how I saw kind of how I saw the charts today. Was able to squeak by with two trades, which are both profitable. And I will have to kind of keep these second entry shorts in my notes because there's like three in a row that look like they repeat each other. Unfortunately, I just didn't quite have the confidence that they were going to work out the way they did work out. So hopefully that was helpful.